So a little background about myself for those of you who missed yesterday's talk. I started a food truck 15 years ago called the Lime Truck. The Lime Truck won the Great Food Truck Race second season. We also won the All-Star season. Spoiler alert, apologies. And so our food truck has really been around for a very long time in Southern California for 15 years. I also started a footwear business, which we have a booth inside. And so I feel very energized by talking about community, because whether you're going to start a food truck, a footwear business, or a telemarketing company, surprisingly, community is at the base of everything. And so I think this is an entrepreneurship 101, but we're going to specialize it on food trucks. And so it's just really important that you understand what this is, because this is, to me, this is literally the most important thing when you're an operator when it comes to marketing. And it's done in a lot of different ways, but the food truck specifically is built for community. I have never seen something drive more community quicker than a food truck that understands its audience. And so we're gonna go through this together. Hopefully, we're gonna help you guys find your audience. We're gonna teach you some of the things that you can do that are just really fun for your customers, and we're gonna play. Again, I'll leave some time at the end for Q&A, probably a lot. And if you have any questions midway, jump into it. I'm pretty good, we can go fast. Okay, so what is community? Any ideas? Questions? I'm asking. It's not rhetorical. Anyone? Yeah, it's a give and take, right? A community is something that you get, which is you get customers, you get loyalty, and then you give back to them and you create experiences, and it's really important. And so when we did the Great Food Truck Race, I couldn't believe this. So in our first year, I shared this yesterday, we had people, actually like 7 of them, who would eat at our truck every day for 1 year. In fact, one of them said he didn't go on vacation to eat at our food truck. And we would park 40 minutes south, 40 minutes north, and this person would travel to us every day without missing a beat. And it was because we did a brand new menu every day, and he just didn't want to miss anything that was on our menu. That same group were so inspired that the first time we went on the Great Food Truck Race, 40 of them flew across the country from Orange County to Miami, where we were finishing the race, and supported our truck every location we went to. They did it as a surprise for us. That's devotion. If you can get your customers to even do 1/50th of that, you're gonna walk away from this experience all the better. And there's nothing like organic business. You know, if you go to a festival and you're making money, but you're just jamming through the line, and they don't know if they ate from the lime truck, from the lemon truck, they don't know what they did when they just walked away, it was just about nourishment, then you're not building anything. But if you build individual experiences, you'll have a lifetime of customers. And it's 15 years later. That's a lot in the food truck world. And the fact that I've been there for so long, it's all these people. And I'm really just beyond grateful for that community. Okay, so we're gonna have some fun. This is the most important slide you guys can take away from today. 70% of your customers, first-time customers, will never return. So basically, 3 out of 4 people, you'll never see them again. I might get you to come back, but the rest of you in this front row is never coming again. If you get them to come a second time, the odds of them coming back are 78%. Sorry, third time. Third time, if you get them to come back, the odds are 78%. You understand how crazy that is? This is literally gold. All you need to do is get your customer to come back 3 times, and you've pretty much earned a customer for life. Now you just don't fuck it up. That's literally what you need to do after you've created that relationship. And so this is what community does. This is what you need to think about on your food truck. How do you do it? Like, how do you create someone to come back and give them a new experience and make them want to try something new at your truck? Yesterday, one of the great operators that was there in the room, young guy, said that every month he does an R&D live session with his customers. You can come and try what the special is for the next month and give feedback. Brilliant. Anything that you can do to create more repeat. You know, we do in my restaurant, I have a high-end Japanese restaurant in LA. We do bartending classes. It is the worst moneymaker. I think we don't even charge for the class. We charge for a drink or two. But what happens is people have become obsessed with how we make drinks, and they come over and over again, and they're building that community, they're building that repeat customer rate, and those customers are there on a Monday night when everyone else is not coming to downtown LA, and they're there on a Tuesday night because they care about you, they're local, and they're part of your community, they tell people. So finding a way to get people to come back is really essential. Now, I talk a lot about Danny Meyer. You guys know who this guy is? Danny Meyer started Shake Shack, started Union Square Hospitality Group. He is my favorite restaurateur in the world, and he wrote a book. It's called Setting the Table, easily the best book in hospitality ever. Not that mine's not great, but that one would be the one that I would go to. He talks about every restaurant is a social hub for a specific community. He chose the business community. His first restaurant is in the middle of a park area in New York and Manhattan. And he picked this one community, and he made sure to place people that he knew would recognize each other by each other. That's not something you can do on a food truck, but the idea is there. You need to find your community. So our community, when we started, there was two. We got given one, which was the new food truck community. If you guys remember, when they were all new, everybody wanted to go and try every one, and that was a given community. Okay, great. The other community we earned, which was the foodie community. We were willing to put everything on the life as chefs. We were making brand new menus every day. We were using really special ingredients. We were doing really difficult cooking processes. And so we knew we leaned into that community of the people that were just obsessed with food. It's a given, right? It's a food truck, but no, not every food truck does that. Most of the food trucks here won't do that. And so that was the community. And then what do? You start to understand who are the players in that community. Well, it's bloggers, it's social media people, it's other chefs. You do collaborations, you do foodie events. You park at the cool restaurant and do, hey, we're gonna be outside your restaurant today, we'll do a collaboration dish, and whatever money we make from we'll just basically give back a lot of the process back to the restaurant. The restaurant loves it because they're getting a new audience. You love it because you're getting a new audience. And you're further cementing what your brand and who your community is. So this is what I think is very special. And I think you can build it in a parking lot. You could build it with breweries. You could build it with all these different types of communities, sports arenas. Our number one event we did was at the bowling alley, and it was on league night, so there was 300 people there, and we brought an extra 1,000 with 10 trucks. So that was a really great way. Every food truck would walk away making $2,000 a shift, easy on that event. Plus, because I was giving back to the community and I was having 9 other trucks there, guess where I got invited on Monday? Guess where I got invited on Tuesday? Every one of those things became a favor. Is there anyone here that does anything for their neighbor where they park in their commissary? Yeah. What do? You look out for each other, right? Why? It's exactly that. It's this amazing give and take that you get to do with your community, and that's food truckers. I mean, that's exactly it. Like, you just give and you get, and you give and you get, and that's how community works. Okay, so like I shared, I think community is a flywheel. I think for everything to work in community, you actually have to do almost all of these things. Granted, you could sub one out for another. And if anyone wants these slides, I'm happy to email them to you as well. So first, you need to find super fans, right? And so how do you do that? Like, my food truck does mostly catering. I shared that yesterday. But we weren't always that way. At first, you have to build your public events. So what do? You start doing tastings in targeted neighborhoods. My food truck does the Brentwood. Brentwood is a small community in Los Angeles. We do the Brentwood Farmers Market, and before I lost my home in the Palisades, I used to do the Palisades Farmers Market as well. And I would make $700, $800 a shift. Not enough to cover my personal time and not enough to cover the truck's profit. We would lose $80 to $100. The average home in that neighborhood is $6 million. They have kids' parties, graduations, every type of event that you can imagine. Every executive TV producer goes to the Brentwood Country Mart. Every celebrity goes there. You get celebrities to your truck. It's just, you're finding where your niche is, and then you might have to accept that, hey, I'm not making money on this event, but I'm building something of substance. And I always look at if I'm either making money or I'm building brand. Those are the two ways that I look at everything. Even public events where there's big fees, like Coachella, I still did because I knew it was a good brand builder at the time, and that's what we needed to do, even though we wouldn't make money from it. Here's hunting. So you're hunting for customers. Reddit sub-engagement for food enthusiasts. Who uses Reddit here? Only a couple people, awesome. I love that you use Reddit. This is a really awesome sub-community. These people go out of their way to tell you what the best dish is, and they'll trash talk it if it's not good, and they'll let you know it's the absolute best if it is. But it's more effective than Yelp. It's more effective than Google. And it's a very small sub-community, which it's all about the niches. And you can go and reach out to them and tell them to come to your food truck and create a bond with them. And that will do a lot for you, trust me. And then Instagram location, hashtag monitoring, and then first name basis with frequent visitors. Does anyone here use numbers or buzzers? They're a dangerous game. I understand the efficiency, and I used them for a very long time. I used them for 6 years, so I'm not against them. But I do think that there is something about building that relationship, and you could do it with a buzzer and just get their name, right? But you have to make sure you're going out of your way to introduce yourself. Everyone that comes to my truck for that first year, I remember their name, even if they came once. It was a game I played. It was insane. I don't know how I did it, but it's something that you guys can do to start to build regulars. And if you see someone, what's the goal? You guys remember 2 slides back. What's the goal?
Feel welcome to come back.
Yes, thank you. That is the golden rule here. So if you're going to get them to come back, what are you going to do? Hey, it's so nice to see you again. Oh, wow, they remember me. They're such a busy truck. I'm surprised they remember me. Oh, last time you ordered the butter chicken. Why don't we try something new this time? Oh, you don't want to try anything new? That's no problem. Let me just give you a bite of my favorite dish I just made. And now you're engaging them. You're giving them a reason to want to come back. And that is essential. The reason why specials are not particularly great from any menu. I think specials are, typically you look at specials very uniquely when you come from the restaurant world because you're like, oh, why are they trying to sell this, you know? But at the same time, it does create a reason to come back. And you can do a lot of storytelling about it online and social media. Okay, so feed, right? You're finding them, now you're feeding them. Secret menu items. Food trucks are notorious for secret menu items. I suggest every one of you come up with something that is over the top, really fun, and is something you only share online. People want to be an insider. That's just kind of how people operate. So find something, even if your truck is, I hope no one's doing this, but it's okay if you are. Like if you're just taking stuff from Restaurant Depot and frying it and selling it, find something that's ridiculous that has all 3 sauces or something that's like just kind of like really playful and over the top that you can post on social media. Make sure it's a high ticket price. Make some money on it. You know, we sell a secret menu item, our guacamole that we already have on the truck. We do it with a fried cheese tortilla and all the sauces and the pico de gallo on it. It's called Holy Guacamole, and we sell it for like 13 bucks. We don't, and our regular guac's 4. You know, like it's the same thing. All the stuff is already on the truck. I have something that is interesting. And then another sub-community, vegetarians and vegans are not underserved in Orange County, Southern California anymore, but they were for a while. They like to talk more than anyone to each other about where you can get the best vegan option. How do you know about this vegan thing? If you can create something for them, that sub-community will love you forever. We made a separate vegetarian menu for catering, and we book it 10% of the time, but it makes vegetarians feel heard. And we book a lot of weddings that one of the bride or groom is a vegetarian, which is happens more than you would think. Even though they don't want vegetarian food for everyone, they want to feel respected and heard. That's a sub-community. SMS. Anyone here using SMS to talk to their customers? Nice. Okay. Only one of you, right? That's a big problem. How many SMSs did you get this morning from brands? How many SMSs are you getting from political people? Why do they do it? It works. It works like crazy. In my footwear business, we have let's say a 25 to 30% open rate on an email. On SMS, we have a 70% open rate in their suggestions, but it's like the click-through is much higher. So find a way. If it's not going to be SMS, it's going to be email. If it's not email, I would say you need to find one of those. There's only SMS and email, so pick one. And then early location alerts. This is something we did with stuff that sold out. So we would do a $30 to $100 dish on our truck on Wednesdays. It was a big deal. And we put a lot of work into that dish. And we said, if you don't like it, you get your money back. We never actually ended up selling them to the public. It was really rare because they would all be pre-ordered. Because we would say, hey, we're going to this location. We would post it, and then I would get a bunch of text messages. Hey, can you save me one? Can you save me one? And by the time I was done, I wouldn't even put it on the menu because we had already sold it out. That's a really good way to create hype and then relationships. And then this is the really important part. if there is someone who's a pillar of your food truck community, the reason why the 40 people came to my food truck across the country was not because all 40 loved me that much. It was because one person took action, Paul, and Paul wanted to do something really nice, and he got everyone wrangled together to come and see us and surprise us. It's one individual. I'm almost certain it helped me win the Great Food Truck Race. One individual. That's crazy. So like highlighting those people and giving them the love and respect that they deserve, it goes a really long way, and you get from it as well. So repost their content. Anyone who tags you, repost their content. That's like the easiest thing to do in the world. It's free content, and it highlights them. But remember who they are. Next time they come to your truck, hey, that was really cool. Thanks for posting that. Whoa. You know, like that's kind of how you're going to continue to build. Name specials. This is my favorite thing. So we did a goat cheese, prosciutto, and asparagus quesadilla on my food truck. It was one of the best quesadillas I've ever had. There was this woman, Jane, who came to our truck every Wednesday right by this Irvine Park where she worked. She loved that quesadilla. Every week would ask about it. When are you going to bring it back? When are you going to bring it back? We brought it back. We called it Jane's Addiction. Simple, right? But Jane forever now has had a dish on the Lime truck. She'll forever remember it. She has a special place in her heart. She still follows us. She still talks about us. 13 years later, we don't even do public events, and we're definitely not in Irvine in that area anymore. So it's just like having some fun. You know, you could also create a wall of fame photo to display on the truck. Koji did a really good job of this. For you guys who don't know, Koji is like, Roy is basically the first person who started food trucks to make them really popular. Roy would let you sign his truck. Simple. White truck. He needed a wrap. He didn't want to pay for it. He got a bunch of people to sign it. It was really playful, really fun, super creative, and it worked really well. And then, how many of you guys do a newsletter? Okay. All right. I love it. You're a marketing queen over here. You too. Okay. How long have you been operating? 2 years. Okay. And you've been operating for 8 years. Yeah. So you might want to take it from a few people in the room that are doing stuff like this. A newsletter does two things. A newsletter, so everyone's goal here, and I've said it yesterday, and I'll say it a million times over, everyone's goal here is to book as much catering as possible. Does anyone not believe that? Do you know how catering works? It's so goddamn awesome. Our average ticket is $3,300. My food cost is 15%. My labor is 25%. I know exactly how much money I'm making. And the only thing that can go wrong is if we arrive a little late or we run out of something because we let people pick what they want. That could get a little bit troubling, but outside of that, it is literally the best thing in the world. So everything needs to be, you need to think about how is this going to drive more catering, or don't do it really. Like that's how important it is. So newsletters remind your customers that you exist. Social media right now, the maximum exposure you're going to get to your community, unless you have insane engagement, is like 15%, and that's on a good day. You're not getting in front of all your customers through social media. The newsletter, if you only do it, we do it twice a month. It's not that much, 24 a year. ChatGPT does 70% of the work. We have photography that we shoot once a year that we use throughout these images. And you're basically getting them to remind and think about you. Oh, I remember that they do catering. Oh, I remember this food truck. That's really awesome. And so it could be about nothing. There was someone in one of the other rooms that I love. She had an idea to make a dump truck food truck, and she posted that as her newsletter. It doesn't matter what you're posting. It's just an idea to generate awareness around your customer base. So we're going to do something together. I know who I'm already picking on probably. Okay, so we're going to turn one-timers into raving regulars. You're going to tell your team, as soon as you have a new customer, everyone operates, 2-3 people in a food truck for the most part, right? Have a signal. Hey, it's their first time. Turn around. If you're outside the truck, write on the ticket, first time. If you're using Toast and you're using the POS system, write first time. Whatever it is, make sure the team knows. Then, what are you going to do about it? Well, you're obviously going to make sure the food is great, right? That's just a given. But the second part is you're going to follow up with them after. How was everything? What did you enjoy your experience? This might feel like a lot for a food truck to go a step beyond, but this is why people love food trucks. It's rare that you have owner-operated businesses where you can engage with even the chef who's making your food or any of these people, and it's, you're doing it at such a low price. Before, if you wanted chef-made food, you'd have to pay a crazy amount of money for it. Now, food trucks have really made that a much more accessible thing. Your second visit, this is where you do the tasting. For us, we gave away limeades. I would do, every limeade cost me 36 cents with the cup, and it was absolutely cheap. We charged $4 for it, so it was a high ticket item. Everyone who came to the truck more than one time got a free limeade. That was my marketing for the first 2 years. It worked so well that I didn't market until the fourth year, and we were doing millions of dollars in revenue. So it's really important that you give them a reason to come back and that you take care of them on that second trip. And then on the third one, that's when you write a visit. If you know they're gonna be there, oh my God, if you know that every Wednesday you're at the spot and that person, Jane, is gonna be there, do something special for Jane. Do something where you're, especially if you could be smart about it. Like, every office park has office admin. If the office employees, there's 200 in there, and you get the admin to be obsessed with you, she will send out an email, or he will send out an email to all of the staff letting them know that you're gonna get there that day. You can build that relationship, but reward her. Give her a free meal, put her name on the menu, say, hey, it's so nice to see you again, whatever that is. And that public recognition transforms them into a community master. And that's the other thing too. It's not easy to fall into a community. A community is built really slowly, and it's built one person at a time. You can, and this is maybe the hack, you can also go into existing communities. For instance, if I'm Persian, and so if I wanted to do a Persian food truck, I would go and I'd really expose that area. I would expose that community. I would work with that community to make special dishes. I would find out who's important in that community. So finding either something that's personal, like your community, that your race, religion, your dietary preferences, where you want to give back. This guy yesterday, who's an ER nurse, who's opening a chicken truck. He's obsessed with feeding people good food, so he takes his truck once a week to the church and feeds people really nice, he's going to really nice rotisserie chicken, because that's his way of building community and giving back, and it will tenfold what your return is. I think I have it in this slide. No. So here's another interesting one. My house burned down in the Palisades fire 6 months ago. I just moved there with my wife. We were expecting a newborn 2 months later, and shit hit the fan. I decided at that moment that I wasn't gonna be super sad and wallow, and I was gonna go and give back and feed as many people as possible. Over the next 7 weeks, I fed 40,000 people that were affected by the fires. I fed frontline workers, I did it all. And I didn't ask for anything in return. I did set up a GoFundMe for people to help pay for all of the food that I was donating. And we raised like $40,000. It was super awesome. But in the process, my food truck in January booked $250K in catering. I've never seen a January where I booked more than 100. That is insane. For that to happen, you have to understand what the world wants. You give, you get, you give, you get. And that's been one of the things I learned the most, because when you're starting off, it's about survival. You want to make it to next year. You want to make it to your third year. The statistic is so bad that you'll make it to your third year as a food truck. But once you realize that it's not just about survival, it's about abundance. You have to give to get, and that's how things start to get changed. As soon as my food truck started booking other food trucks for lots, I got so many more events out of that. It tenfolded my business in that first year. It's like, I didn't want to build a food truck lot. I didn't want to do all the work of booking all these trucks every week, but I had to do something for the community to get something from the community. Okay, here's a little hack, and you guys are welcome to do it. I think for those who are a little less social media fluent, this could be a really nice way to do it. So, start your morning, you read the 5 newest social comments. This could be Yelp, Google, it could be Reddit, it could be whatever. If you guys, does everyone here have a Google search reminder for your brand name? Okay, go do that first. So, sorry, that's step one. You could set a Google alert. Anytime your name is mentioned anywhere on the internet, you'll get an alert, and that's a really good opportunity to just find out what people are talking about your brand. Also, I do it for competitors. I do it for Food Truck Orange County. So like anything that you think is interesting to your world, you should set alerts, and it's awesome. It takes 2 seconds. It's free. So you look for those social comments, and you respond. What does this do? It creates engagement. You're learning what your customers are saying about you. That is probably the most important thing out of this, let alone the fact that you're building community, but you're also learning, like, are your customers loving you? Are they hating you? Where are they coming from? You know, this is really important. Then, automated recognition. So we have a Slack channel where we check in with our customers, and it goes to the whole team. I like this. I think it's really easy to set up. But the point is that you're constantly reading what your customers are saying about you, who's getting rewarded. One thing we noticed is when we started doing this that certain employees get 90% of the responses of why everyone's having good customer experiences. That's really valuable. First off, you want to recognize that employee. We gave a trophy and a gift card. We do that monthly. But secondly, you want to understand what they're doing differently. Why are they having so much better customer experiences? And what are you rewarding that for? Because if you're building a culture of good customer experience, then you need to reward and keep replicating that. And then Friday, or whatever day you guys do it, we do it Monday actually, but you want to think about one thing to do for one of your best customers the next week. If you continuously do this, at the end of the year, you'll have 52 customer moments, 52 people that are going to tell probably 10 of their friends. So you have a 500-person reach that is loving you and your brand. And that's how you build loyalty. And so it's really not that much time. Even if you just did this or just did this, this one is more about information. But if you just did one of these two, you'd benefit a lot from it on your food truck. Okay, charity. Charity is the last part. I said that you have to give to you have to get. We donate more than 1% right now, but we donate back to our community. My whole company's mission is to elevate the worker, and I believe in giving workers as much as I possibly can, because without them, I wouldn't be anywhere. And so we started a program where we give free shoes and grants to workers in need. And by the way, if any of you guys have someone who's there, it's on our website. We give a grant every month. You guys are welcome to have your people apply for it, or if you need to apply for it, no judgment. But what does that do? It creates a cycle. You're giving back, you're getting, you're giving back. I think that when you pick your charity, or when you pick your organization that you give back to, there's a few things that need to happen. You need to resonate with that community. Pick something that's important to you, because it won't even matter if you get an ROI. If you're doing something good once a month or once a year or whatever it is, you're just going to feel good, and especially if you care about that cause. So that's at its baseline. But if you can do something with a group that also will bring you in more for more things. So what's a good example of this? Schools. A lot of you guys do fundraisers with local schools where you give back like 10%? Yeah, right? It's a big part of the business. That actually goes a really long way. Write it on your menu, because a lot of times you do it where you have a deal set up with the school, but you don't tell anyone. Tell the people that you're doing it. You're going to get actually more sales. People will be more generous if they know the money's going back to the teacher's fund or back to the school organization. And what's going to happen is they're going to book you more often. The people in that community are going to book you more often. And so just by creating an event where you're still making money, but you're letting people know and you're giving back as part of it. In the first year when we did that, I think we raised $60,000 throughout the whole year in public school funds for mostly for arts, which was really cool, for food, and because like they're taking away food and drama in most of the schools in California. And we got so much out of it. I think we had to have done $600,000 revenue with schools, or we wouldn't have given 60. So it's pretty cool, and it's definitely something worthwhile. Okay, we're gonna have some fun. Everybody turn to your neighbor. If your neighbor is your partner in the business, turn to the other neighbor, okay? So we are going to be doing an exercise of meeting new people, okay? And we're going to name one super fan in your business. So who has a super fan? You have a super fan. What's the story? I love that. What's his name? His name is Jake. Jake's awesome. I want to support Jake. So that's really cool, right? And how do you highlight Jake's story? Do you guys? Share it on our socials. Epic. He should raise his prices. Okay, so you're gonna turn to your neighbor right now, the new person you're about to meet, introduce yourself, and talk about, if you don't have a super fan, talk about one way you're going to get a super fan. If you do have a super fan, talk about one way to reward them, okay? And if you don't have one yet, and you're about to start your business, talk about what you want to do to build super fans. And let's have you guys start right now. Okay, thank you guys. A little round of applause for everyone. I'm happy you guys got to know your neighbors. Okay, I would like a volunteer. Who had a great conversation or a great idea? You did?
We had a great conversation, but it was kind of different than what.
Okay, all right. Well, that's not helpful here. Oh, there you go. Okay, was there a good idea in there?
Yeah, she wants to add to her business what I do.
Okay, and what's that?
Rolled ice cream.
Okay, oh, you're gonna add rolled ice cream to your business. How is that gonna build a super fan?
I'm not sure.
Okay, all right.
Because it's unique.
It is unique, and that's true, but that's not building super fans. So it is in the sense that you're giving them a novel experience, but you're doing that already. So you need to, in my opinion, you need to take it a step further. And how are you going to build rolled ice cream super fans, right? Is it about creating beautiful artistry in how you roll it? Is it about rolling different colors together and making it special for 4th of July and creating I don't know, it's like, I'm just riffing, but.
For me, like.
Personal introductions, huge. All right, you get a book. I'll sign it for you later if you'd like. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right, who else? There is one more book involved.
All the way in the back.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Oh, my man over here. This guy knows what he's doing.
Hey, I'm still just over here amazed. This kid's 15 years old and he already has a truck.
Amen. I love that, man. That's awesome, Jace. Really good job. And I think starting as a young entrepreneur, your life will bring you lots of bliss through all these different projects. So, yeah, awesome. And Jace, I'll give you a book. I'll sign it for you too. You got a book. So I think one thing that you both mentioned here in the middle as well with your rolled ice cream is that food is a big part of it. And I don't want to undervalue good food. For me, it's table stakes. Like, you guys should all be making food that people love. But if you really do make good food and you do have unique product, that will naturally bring you opportunity. But again, what happens when there's another rolled ice cream place across the street?
And we do have 2 hours.
Yeah.
So how do I keep?
Are you the one making the rolled ice cream?
I make, yeah.
Is there someone else that helps?
Yeah, we have 2 plates.
So what I would do is, oh, no, sorry. Not in, do you have someone doing like front of house?
Usually we'll take the order because we make it in front of them.
Yeah, I see. So then you have to decide if it's worth it or not. What I would do is I would have someone doing line work.
Sure.
And maybe you won't do it all the time. Maybe you'll do it sometimes. But if you can get off making the ice cream and start doing the line work, you actually will create more value for your business, typically. And you'll start to scale what you do, because if you're always working and rolling all the ice cream forever, you're going to be really kind of stuck in working for the company rather than running the company. But I would say the line work is real. When you have a long line, it's a captive audience. That is the time to build super fans because they're there. They're there for you. They're excited for you. You give them a moment and you just do the introductions. That's going to go really far. If you remember something, engage them. What's their favorite flavor? You just spend a few moments with them. That's hospitality, which food trucks forget that it's a big part of. We're still in the hospitality business. That's a good way to do it.
And I did last year for 2 years.
Oh, yeah. So you've built a really big community around what you do. That's really cool.
Yeah.
You get the final book that I have. Yeah. All right. We're gonna do some Q&A. I'm pretty much done, but yeah, go for it.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Like in my situation.
Ooh. Holy moly. Okay. Ooh. Well, that woke me up. All right. Ooh. Okay. Let's go. What was the question? I feel like I was just blasted.
My son is the face of the company.
Yeah.
He also does all the baking.
He also does what?
He also does all the baking.
Oh, okay.
So do you suggest that he be on the window or putting the items together because he's not sure which to
That's a great question. So, if he can replicate his quality control, a really good executive chef typically works Expo. And the reason being is because you get to engage both with the customer and with your kitchen. And so you're controlling the pace of everything, and you're controlling the restaurant or in the food truck. I would say he should be the one handing out the food if there's a 3-person op. If it's a 2-person op, it's tough. I would say most likely front of house. So you guys think I'm very social and very personable, and I can go out and talk to anyone, which probably I can. But when I'm in my restaurants, I like being in back of house because I don't have to talk to anyone and I can just focus on food. It's a default that we go to because it's easier. And not only is it easier, it is important. You're there ultimately, no matter what is happening on community and food and everything like that. If you're a chef, you care about the food more than you care about anything. So I would say it will be more impactful to move him to engage with customers because that's what customers want. It has to be something that he's comfortable with, and also it has to be, he has to make sure that he can replicate his success without having him make all the food. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Thanks, sorry. I'm making you hustle around the room over here. Thanks, Sarah.
A little exercise.
There you go. 3 minutes, heard.
Forgive me if this is a stupid question.
No such thing.
I'm new to the business.
Okay.
So I heard you saying earlier about labor costs.
Yeah.
And that you know your labor costs.
Yeah, of course.
How would, I don't know anything about that. Can you give me a little bit of tips on labor costs and how that works?
Where do you operate?
We're doing a Brazilian barbecue
Where? What state?
here in Las Vegas.
In Vegas. So, I mean, first you need to look at what minimum wage is. I have no idea what that is here. And then you have to look at other jobs to see what people are paying.
Okay.
I like paying a little bit more for better experience because I'm not there on the trucks that often, and I need to know that people are running my trucks correctly. Plus, if you pay a little bit more, you can ask for a little bit more, in my opinion, and you get a higher quality. You might not have that when you start, and you're going to be on the truck. When I was on the truck, we had interns. You can't do that anymore. But it was how we got no labor costs. So it just depends on what you need. But I would say you have to. Labor is the most unruly out of all the costs. Like food costs, typically, if you suck at food costs and you're not good at controlling like your waste, it might go up 1, 2, 3 points, and it fluctuates like that much if you're managing it. Labor, if it's mismanaged, can be 40 or 50 or 60% of your revenue. And when that happens and you have a 25% food cost, you're losing so much money. And that's when you see food trucks come and go really quickly. It's typically mismanaged costs, and labor is the biggest one, although a lot of them are owner operated, and you need runway, which I think someone else talked about. But you need to know that it's going to take a few months before you start making money on your business. And so if you're going to work every event, great. That's a good way to do it. You'll learn a lot, but you'll save a lot of money, but you have to kind of manage those costs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Thank you all. I'm really grateful that I got to do this again. Come visit me. Oh shit. Sorry, one more thing. This is my QR code. It goes to all my information. You could sign up for my newsletter. I have a masterclass. I have a book. I have a footwear business that was started out of a slip and fall that I had in the kitchen, and it's growing like crazy. Come visit me. I'll sign your book. I'll hang out with you. I'll answer your food truck questions if you have any more.